Hey there, artists. So what we're going to work on today is taking a circle and turning it into a sphere. In other words, taking a shape of a circle and turning it into the form of a sphere. So what you're going to need is a pencil, not a mechanical pencil, and an eraser. Erasers at the end of pencils get used up really quick in the art room, so it's good to have one of the bigger erasers. So I went ahead and I've already traced 3 circles, and they're going to be a little bit different than each other. So I've already worked on these 2, and the difference between these 2, well, besides the fact that I haven't made the shadow underneath it, is I'm using these arrows as a guide point to help me. These arrows represent where light is shining. So for example, in this one, I am pretending that there is a sun or a lamp or something in this corner, and it is shining on my sphere, which is why there's no pencil basically here. It's just the white of the paper. And it gets darker as it goes to the opposite end of the sphere. And also the shadow cast, just like it would if you were, a tree, for instance, with the sunshine, is on the opposite side. For this one, because the light source is from directly above, it's the top of the sphere that's lit, and it gets darker as it goes down, and there would also be a shadow under here, but I'm going to not do that just so it doesn't block here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do this one right here. Now really you can spend hours and hours and hours on one sphere, but I'm going to do this as fast as I can. I went ahead and I traced a circle. And now though, I'm gonna work on shading, all right? So to add shading, instead of my holding my pencil like this, because if I do that, I'll get more of just the tip of it, I like to use the edge. So I'm going to change, and I'm going to use my pencil with it under my hand instead of over my hand, so that I can do more shading. Sorry that there's that interruption. That is not in real life, it is on the video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead because I have an outline, and I want to try to get rid of the outline to make more of an edge. And it's harder to manipulate your pencil, I think you'll find. Like, it's harder to have control because we're not trained like this as much. It feels strange holding your pencil like this. So I'm going through and adding a crescent type of shape. This is basically, well, not basically, it is the exact same reason why the moon appears to be lit at different times, like this. It's also a sphere. Okay, so something that you might have already figured out, maybe not, is that these number 2 pencils, I'm just using a regular number 2 pencil, although this is not the best art pencil. Regular pencils though are soft. And so if you use your fingers, you'll be able to blend, not crazy good, but you'll be able to blend a bit. And then that'll help you produce more of a gradient. What do I mean when I say gradient? It's the same thing as value. It's the lightness or darkness. So I want it lighter towards the arrow and getting darker. So I added 1 layer. I added a really light layer. And my favorite trick is to add layers. Now I'm going back and doing the same thing, and now I'm going to darken it just a little scotch, little titch of darker. And you can go back and forth and doing this over and over and over again, so that you have an edge instead of an outline. Remember that you don't really want to have those harsh lines showing. So I can use my pencil, or excuse my finger, and I could blend. Okay. Also remember that your eraser is also your friend. So if your fingers get too much, you can also go back and erase where you need that white to show. Even if the harsh line right here, if your outline is showing too much, you can also erase it. So it's there, but it's faint. I don't like it when I see those lines, so I'm trying to use my finger, what's left on my finger, to blend it in to make the gradient really smooth. Okay, guys, so that is how to do the sphere, but we still need to add the cast shadow. To add the cast shadow, I'm going to make a long, skinny oval. all right? So you can pretend to draw it with your finger before you draw it with a pencil. I'm pretending through here because the sphere is covering it. All right, and that's how the shape of the circle is, again, an oval shape. And it's the opposite place of where the light is. And now I can go back and I can work on darkening it up. It's going to be very dark right underneath my sphere. If you want to get really fancy, you want to start to add a gradient to make it lighter, or you can just forget that and just keep adding. Okay, and then using my finger to blend it and going back and forth, and I can continue to play using my eraser to erase any harsh lines. Do you see what I'm working on? How it's getting tidier and tidier? Okay, guys, I know that mine is not done because, again, this does take some time to make a really nice one, but I want you to try it by adding layers. And I can't wait to see what you create today.